Advocacy is when, on behalf of a group of people, other individuals come together to recognize the issues that are affecting them. When you recognize those issues, you prioritize the issue that affect them, then you coordinate those people into a particular group whereby you bring the attention of the appropriate authorities to those issues that are affecting the people. When the appropriate authorities recognize that these people are being affected by our policy, then that means advocacy has taken place. Once an action has taken place on the part of the recipient of the information, then advocacy has taken place. There are many issues, for instance, because an individual, it might be very difficult to carry out advocacy at your level to get the attention of government or national authorities. But when it is coordinated by recognized groups, it is possible. Well, if you are talking about maybe discrimination in a workplace, and you as an individual, you can't do that. A group can champion that on behalf of that person, because when you recognize an issue, when you identify an issue, it does not affect only one person alone. You will see many people being affected by the same policy, but they can't come out. In their own private discussion, they grumble about it, and that is it. That is they just grumble. But when it is activated, when that issue is taken up from them and brought to national discourse, to the attention of the authorities, then that is advocacy. The purpose of advocacy is to change the laws, policies, and attitudes, and of course maybe allocation of resources in the society. So it is important to realize that advocacy is a process, not a one-way thing. It must be stated that there are always too many concerns at a time to be addressed. This implies that migrant advocates or migrant-led organizations should prioritize issues based on available resources and networks that they have. Yeah, there are different barriers that have been acknowledged, that have been noted. One is the absence of legal representation. Many migrants do not have access to legal representation in their host community. In some EU countries, even advocates do not have access to information regarding some vulnerable migrants who are in detention. So how will they be represented? It might be very, very difficult. And there are other issues too. Some migrant organizations complain of lack of funds. They are not properly funded to carry out their activities. And there is this, in the bureaucracy, the resistance from technocrats. When you want a change, it's not always easy. People are very resistant to change. So when organizations are coming up, calling the attention of appropriate authorities to an issue, there is this tendency on the part of lawmakers or government to resist such, particularly in a country that is becoming multicultural, where we have different cultural and religious backgrounds. And that is what they call a crisis of multicultural society. You want to preserve your common values as a host country. You also want to embrace other cultures with different religious backgrounds and cultural backgrounds. That is a kind of conflict ensues. But they have to strike a balance between the two. How can we allow others to operate at their own pace without any conflict? That is the essence of a multicultural society, where minority groups, migrant groups can coexist with the local population without any conflict. And I think the government has a lot to do about that, particularly policymakers, to create and develop some policies that are favorable to different groups, minority groups, migrant communities in the host country. And let me say that the December 9, which is recognized as International Migrant Day, should be utilized by migrant communities, migrant associations to celebrate, to showcase the contributions of migrants to the host community. It is when you show the positive aspect that they can recognize you. So it is not just an ordinary day like that. It should be celebrated. Thank you.